The challenges facing the NHS, I think, are well understood. The issue is, how are we going to meet them? The main challenges start with funding. We believe that the NHS is currently significantly underfunded, and that if we go on with the present levels or the expected levels of funding, the health service will continue to deteriorate. It will fail to meet constitutional standards, and that individuals will suffer. And that goes alongside social care, which needs to be adequately funded as well. And we need a fundamental look at the whole future of funding. Second area is workforce. And I think everyone again recognises we have very significant shortages. We do have problems of retention. I think that as employers, we need to look very closely at how we are managing a very different workforce with often different aspirations from those of the past, and we need to adjust to that. And the third area is obviously that of reform, and we need to avoid creating the reforms of the past in which we moved the deck chairs around, we changed the organisational structure, but we didn't change the way that we work. And changing the way that we work so that we begin to provide a more seamless service which recognises the challenge around the growing number of elderly people in particular with comorbidities. So we need to find solutions to each of those three problems.
So I'm here at the HSJ Summit. It's a two-day event for chief executives, which is an opportunity in private to discuss the challenges their organisations are facing. Many of those issues are things that Capsticks are helping organisations with. And this afternoon we have our workshop on the CQC new inspection regime, so we're looking forward to a really lively debate.
A few things that we talked about when we were talking about what the NHS workforce looks like post-Brexit. I think the overwhelming theme though is there's a lot more we're going to need to do ourselves in terms of domestic supply. There are some things that the government have set in train about extra medical school places and extra clinical placements for nurses and other professionals. But there's also a huge amount we need to do ourselves as employers, particularly as we try and encourage people to enter our non-registered, non-clinical workforce. So we had a really interesting conversation about schemes like Step Into Health, where we're trying to bring more colleagues from the armed forces into the NHS as they leave the armed forces. We talked about fantastic programmes like Project Search and Prince's Trust in terms of stuff they do, so that actually the NHS, as typically the largest employer in its local community, can actually encourage people to pursue a career in healthcare, and perhaps also in social care in the longer term. And I think that's going to be the particular difference after we've left the European Union.